That would be the first thing. It's like, what is Amor? And what is, like they'll say all this stuff about Amor, more and more. I mean, it is the manifestation of the being into the flesh, the being who travels upon the waters of the earth, but first beginning in the waters and also the land of the earth, but beginning in the waters of their mother's womb.
The two shapes of the mem relate to water. We all know that life is impossible without water. Water gives life. We can go weeks, maybe months without eating, but we can't go without drinking. Just like water gives life, Torah gives life. The mem is the 13th letter of the Hebrew letters. 13 spells the word ahava, love. And this is connected to how many poets relate to love as flowing like water.
Love. Wow. That's deep. Love, beloved. What's that lady name? She always talking to the people. Van Zandt. When she talked to people, she said, beloved, peace, beloved. You all right, beloved? You see, subconsciously, she's addressing us with our proper name. That's right. But that's what more means.
So the letter mem is connected to all these ideas: life, love, wisdom, and Torah. And this is manifest very much in the number of mem, which is 40. This is not a coincidence. The number 40 represents Torah itself. And because of the shape of the mem and being a square, as we've learned many times in the discussion of the letters are archetypal forms. So the letter mem represents the square, which is also a type of cycle, a self-contained cycle. So therefore, we have many, many different cycles in the Torah that have to do with 40. The Talmud talks about 40 weeks of pregnancy. And what is the environment that the fetus is in the womb? Water. So in all of these connections, we see that the mem is a letter of life, a letter of birth and of cycle, of connecting to wisdom.
Okay? NTR. Netter. Because according to the ancient languages, there are no vowels. Right? Right. So you may have two words spelled the same with different meanings. How do you know the meaning? The determinative.
The 20th letter of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Resh, which appears like this in the modern Hebrew alphabet. In the ancient Hebrew pictographic script, this letter was the picture of the head of a man. The Hebrew word Resh, the name of this letter, means head, and has the meanings of first, top, and beginning.
When you look up the word more, it just doesn't mean a noun. It's actually an action. So it means that since man is mind and we're all spirit, and then we come into the flesh, so we travel upon the 7 stages of development in the waters of the mother's womb. That's mooring, right? And then when we're done, we get cut from the navel, which is navigating L. And then we become navigating L's upon the earth plane. So you start there. So if that was understood and accepted, there would really be no there would really be no problem, because people say, well, I don't have to be anything to be whatever. Well, I just explained to you what that is. It means that if you came to the womb, then you were mooring, and you were mooring through the 7 stages of the waters and the 7 stages of development in your mother's womb. And then you didn't have to be called anything, because that's just what it is. So those who actually call themselves Moors are actually saying, I'm not anything except that I am, that I am.
I am that I am.
That's really what's being said.
What Budge gives is in transliteration of this glyph is MR. The definitive or definition of MR he gives is governor, captain, and governor, captain, and one other. The owl universally, at once, simultaneously, means wisdom in every culture on the planet. This glyph is referred to as Inomo. That can be verified in 2 places. In the book, Robert Temple's The Mystery of Cyrus, he gives this glyph. And also in a book gone past now called The Philosophy of the Muntu, the Muntu Bantu philosophy. He gives Inomo as magic word, or word of power. And this represents A, water, B, electricity. The Kemetic Moors' discovery of energy in water made the comparative of a generative picture of water waves as electrical power. So the definition coined here is Lord of the earth. Yes, the clarity here is that any vowel placed between those 2 consonants still produces more.
More is in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, when it says, let there be lights in the firmament, talking about the sun and the moon. That word lights is more.
So right now what we're looking at is we're looking at the word more in Hebrew. We're looking at the word more in Hebrew. Right there it says, what gives off light? A source of light. One of light. That is what a more is.
If you're not going to get into the metaphysics of it, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to understand it. What are we? What are we? What is your dark skin? What is that? Children of the sun, right? Huh? Don't you know? The sun and the moon. Ain't the black man the sun and the black woman the moon and the earth and everything else in this motherfucker?
So there are many suns and there are many planets. The body is totally a temple. It's the Temple of Solomon, and it is the measure of the universe. How man is how the universe is. As above, so below. There is no difference. Once you depart from this basic truth, you are lost in the world of delusions.
Any individual that possesses melanin can be classified as a Moor. Maybe not an active Moor, but they can be classified as a Moor. And we have to understand, too, as well, that that term does not deal with any specific religion or spirituality of an individual. Okay, we're dealing with pedigree, referring to melatonin, referring to what we were before we possessed these bodies.
You're not a Negro. You're not a Niger. You are a Moor. You are a one of light. Moor. It's as simple as that. Mayim Aleph Wa Resh. It's as simple as that. So we have to comprehend that, brothers and sisters.
Mission. Now we have we have various words that were used to describe us. This is not the only one, but this is, in fact, one of the oldest, because it actually leaves the planet. It goes back to the universe.
Or it's from the light. It would actually be, I think the word or is the root word, and the prefix, the M in front of the Hebrew word prefix, makes it from the light. And
from the light, exactly.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So that's some of the grammaticalness in there. And if you look at Strong's Concordance and you look in the Bible, always click on those little words in there. You can find any word and get deeper into it. And then start studying some of the grammar and and breaking some of that down, because or you would just think is just light, but it actually means from the light.
Which a lot of Moors are not aware of, because what happens is, due to the systems and teachings of religion, you have religious Moors out there, just like you have religious Christians, just like you have any other type of people organization that focus on the religious teachings, and they don't actually study to get to the spiritual. So I want to be clear that this is not the only term that we are known by, but it encompasses a whole lot, and it references the science of melanin.
One of the oldest stellars from the original Old Kingdom. So again, that then means that the Moors, at least as they were written in Egyptian, were basically a race of high priests of Anu. Anu is Ainu or Ainubus or Anpu, who is the symbol of the great black dog that represents, on the metaphysical side, melanin itself.
So hold on. So are you saying then that the genesis of Moors began in ancient Egypt, or does it predate ancient Egypt?